Hello, everybody. I'm Leela Sophia Tressimer, and I'm wanting to share with you something so near and dear and deep to my heart related to Sophia lineage, and a creation myth about the Sophia lineage. Things that you will find on this site, as well as possible future connections and potential ways of gathering to really address what is going on in the world. Who is Sophia and why does she matter? In a way, that's a bit of a trick question because we are the matter of Sophia. We are her elements in expression. As the elements of expression, we are her. Her body is our body. Our body is part of her body. I sometimes consider that we are like the intelligent cells within her body. And as much as she is part of all matter, she also has a cosmic essence. She's one of the creative essences of all that is at a very galactic and universal level. But I was thinking about a way of working with this and of playing around with something called the transitive law. So applying this to an identification that we are all Sophia and that she is all matter. So one way of playing the transitive law is, you may remember it from mathematics, if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. So if we are A and Sophia is B, then A equals B. We are Sophia. And if B equals C, then Sophia equals all matter. And then in this case, A would equal C, that we are all the matter in creation. We resonate with all matter in creation, that we essentially are connected to everything. We're not disconnected. We are that, it is us, we are it. And it's from that place in sacred application of deep ceremony, sacred activism, when we know that we resonate with all creation, then we have the potential to actually bring an influence, a sacred influence to all matter and to all that matters. So consider that. If we really knew that, how would it make a difference? I wanted to look at some of the interconnections of ways that Sophia, as a hub in what we're calling the online University of the Mysteries through the Star House, that Sophia becomes one of the portals someone can open, the Sophia hub. So the Sophia lineage, there are 7 lessons online. You can find them on the site. It's an interactive course with lots of video clips and a way that we would end up connecting also on live phone calls on occasion. It gives a little bit more of the background and how this work came to be alive for me after decades and decades of working with the sacred feminine and landing in this deep inner knowing that Sophia was my portal to the sacred feminine and to the Sophia connection to light, to star wisdom, to Christ light, to the initiation through light and the cosmos. So she became my way home. I would invite you to check out those lessons. Another possibility is to look also onto this site for the Goddess of America lessons. This is a way of looking at sacred activism, a way to consider how might we collectively address the feminine within our nation's capital in a sacred, spiritual way. It's not political, and yet it is essentially everything that true politics should be, meaning the body of the people, as in the feminine body and the sacred community and the potential for communion within the community. So The Goddess of America, again, an online course with lots of interaction. Another two things that we have going online are the 12 senses, which is a way of looking at how do we open up our senses to an extraordinary capacity to extended perception. The senses are both the doorway in to our deeper, more sensitive consciousness expanding, and they're the doorways out, the ways that we can expand into the portals. My beloved David Tressimer and I have done an extensive study on this, and that also is an online course. So we also have monthly sacred activism calls that are based on a principle of trines, like the trines, trines as they relate to the astrological elements. Each of the four elements has three signs in the astrology wheel. And we work with a group of people who do an ongoing sacred activist meditation. It's not political either. It's a designated way of going from the I to the we, so we can begin to feel like we create a little more accountability, that we're creating new connections, that we're looking at the neural networking of the wiring of what is it to be alive, awake, aware, living in this country and contributing to it energetically, inviting in the spiritual world to participate with us. So my work with the sacred feminine in the Sophia field began probably in the early 2000s. It's a deep dedication to being present, to being embodied on the earth, to being awake and connected to universal intelligence at the same time that we live and breathe and move and think and feel and create and connect with the web of life. So I invite you to a deeper knowing of yourself as having a connection to the sacred feminine through Sophia. Invite you to consider looking at another piece that is online here under the Sophia Lineage page is the Sophia creation story. And it's an animated adaptation of an old Gnostic references that have been put together in a way to give us an alternative to a galactic creation story. In this extended community of the Star House, we also create ongoing ways of staying connected to the sacred rhythms of the year, to David's work with astrology and star wisdom, all these things that weave together to become what will be a platform on the site, the University of the Mysteries. Forwarding the Sophia lineage, regardless of engagement on your part, has everything to do with each of us becoming connected in the most unique and glorious way to the place that we hold, each of us, in this complex mandala of life. There is no one who can stand in your position and bring the gift of your genius. So consider what is yours at this time when the world, when life, when all that's going on needs our sacred attention more than perhaps ever before. That we are a missing link in what will bring the seen and the unseen worlds woven together in the name of the sacred through our capacity as human beings, or anthropos, as the Greeks would say, the potential human being. That is where the weaving of the seen and the unseen will happen, is through the human heart, through our capacity, our extraordinary capacity to care and to nurture life and to bring to it something that wasn't there before in just the way that you will bring it. Blessings, blessings, as we head into a new year, may be filled with vision,